Welcome back to the Valenti VOD. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti. As you can see with the headline right here, Harvard University sues the Trump administration, taking the fight over federal funding and academic freedom to court. This is as of 6:10 p.m. today. It is currently 6:19 p.m. That's why they call me hot off the press Chris. That's why they call me king of the news Chris. That's why they call me free independent media Chris. And listen, guys, before we dive into this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We film these videos live, so if you want to be notified when we do go live, you hit that notification bell. All of that costs you nothing. It helps me immensely. If you do want to help the channel out financially, because this is real independent media and I have no funding, there's a couple of ways that you could do that. You could become a patron on Patreon for $5. You could become a member on YouTube for $5. You could buy some dope-ass Valenti Videos merch down below, and you could use a 40% off discount for the Ground News Vantage subscription down below. Thank you for all of my patrons and all of my members and everybody who's donated, and without further ado, let's get the fucking dive right in here. So, listen, we talked about this in our previous video. You probably know all about it, but the Trump administration has frozen federal funding for Harvard University. Most of this funding was used for medical research because, believe it or not, there's no return on investment when it comes to a lot of medical research, specifically cancer research. So it's up to the federal government to provide the funding for it, because no fucking private institution, no sane person who is focused on a profit margin would ever take up something like R&D, research and development, when it comes to cancer treatments and medications, because it's just a money suck and it's for the greater good of society. It's not for temporary profit margins, which is what most of these companies are focused on in the end stage of capitalism that we currently live under. But regardless, Trump froze the federal funding. Harvard University said, go fuck yourself. We're not doing what you want to do, because the Trump administration wants them to create like an anti-Semitism task force that is selected by the Trump administration to audit all of the students and all of the material that they are studying to make sure that their material tracks with the U.S. State Department's I guess their current belief in who is in the right regarding Israel and Palestine. The State Department is on the side of Israel, therefore they don't want anybody to be teaching or holding any sort of students that are pro-Palestine. But this all ties back to that. So then in response, Trump said that that Harvard University is no longer going to get tax cuts tax exemption. Tax exemption. But now we've made it all the way to this. Harvard University sues the Trump administration, taking the fight over federal funding and academic freedom to court. Note, this is not the first time Harvard University has sued the Trump administration, nor is Harvard University the only university that has sued the Trump administration. We've got Harvard University, we've got Brown University, Princeton University, MIT, Caltech, University of Illinois. All of these universities have sued the Trump administration for various different reasons, most of them having to do with the federal funding. Also, the complete attack on freedom of speech that we're seeing in places like Columbia University, okay? So, let's read this, okay? And I know this is CNN, but it's important to read some of this stuff so you can understand what the majority of Americans are consuming. The largest voting bloc in the United States is the elderly, and they are not on TikTok. They are not on social media. Maybe some of them are on fucking Facebook, but they are getting their news from Fox, from CNN, from MSNBC. They're not getting it from your fucking social media people. They're not getting it from me, okay? So let's fucking read. Harvard University sued the Trump administration Monday in a new escalation of the fight over institutional oversight, independence, and federal funding for the Ivy League school. University President Alan M. Garber, in a letter addressed to the Harvard community, said the administration's recent escalations against the prestigious institution, quote, have stark, real-life consequences for patients, students, faculty, staff, researchers, and the standing of American higher education in the world. CNN has reached out to the White House for comment on the lawsuit. The Trump administration is demanding Harvard give it access to all university reports on anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim bias on campus generated since October 2023, as it ramps up a confrontation with the school that risks billions in federal money amid a broader push to bring elite U.S. colleges in line with its political ideology. So, listen, we all know that Israel fucking owns the United States government. Donald Trump is a baby back bitch for Benjamin Netanyahu. He cradles his nuts and he sucks on his cock. And it shouldn't surprise you that since October of 2023, oh, I wonder what that has to do with. They want to gather all university reports since October 2023. They literally just want to audit the student body to find out which of these students are pro-Palestine, which teachers are pro-Palestine, if there's any sort of pro-Palestinian presence in this university, and to probably detain them with ICE and deport them to the Salvadorian extermination camp. But, you know, maybe that's just what their fucking plan is, because the entire Trump regime is riddled with fascists. The government has not and cannot identify any rational connection between anti-Semitism concerns and the medical, scientific, technological, and other research it has frozen that aims to save American lives, foster American success, preserve American security, and maintain America's position as a global leader in innovation, the suit filed Monday says. Garber, who is Jewish, said in his letter that he knows there are valid concerns to the rise of anti-Semitism and that the university has task force groups designated to help address intolerance in our community. So what's it going to be, MAGA? Is this guy an anti-Semite? Is this guy a rabid anti-Jewish, pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas terrorist? This guy? What's it going to be? Harvard, who has emerged as a symbol of defiance against the Trump administration across campus and beyond, must turn over all reports generated by school task forces on combating anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim bias on campus, including drafts never released to the public. A letter Saturday from the Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights to Harvard leadership says. The letter, published by the Free Press, also requests the names of anyone involved in preparing the reports and says they should be made available for interviews by federal officials. You're seeing it right in front of your own very fucking eyes. The Trump administration is demanding that Harvard University lets the Trump regime audit the student body, get a list of names of people within Harvard University, whether they're students or faculty, that have anything to do with pro-Palestinian protests, and provide that list to the federal government so they can prepare for, quote, interviews by federal officials. This just means ICE. That's what this means. This just means ICE. The letter is among the latest twists in the Trump administration's escalating fight with Harvard. It comes as some Jewish organizations and students at Harvard say the White House's recent threats, from pulling research funding to ending its eligibility to host international students, are not making them safer or more welcome, but instead, as some wrote, pawns in a broader political agenda. So we have literally Jewish organizations in Harvard saying this is making things worse. This is not making us feel safer. This isn't my opinion. This is the Jewish organizations at Harvard themselves. You don't need to take my fucking word for it. The Trump administration has said it would freeze more than $2.2 billion in grants and contracts after the Ivy League school refused to submit to demands, including it eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, ban masks at campus protests, enact merit-based hiring and admissions reforms, and reduce the power of faculty and administrators the White House has said are, quote, more committed to activism than scholarship. Dude, listen, let's just talk about this one more time. America is not the one bombing Gaza. Yes, we're arming Israel. Yes, but like, guys, all of this insane effort is for Israel. This has nothing to do with America. Your national security is not at risk. This is the craziest shit ever. Like, I know that, like, we all know Israel fucking controls the United States government, but this is, like, the most blatant shit I've ever fucking seen. Holy fuck. Another one, and also I want to talk about this, banning masks at campus protests. Why do you think they want to do that? The only reason they want to do that is because they want to be using this new facial recognition technology for footage of these protests so that they can find out who are anti-American protesters so they can fucking round them up. And I've told you guys this multiple times before all these big protests. I always tell you guys, leave your phones behind, wear a shiesty or a balaclava, cover your fucking eyes with Oakleys, do not let let these people see your face because they will use it against you. I know you have the right to protest right now. I know you do. But right now, you have that right. And anything you fucking do right now can and will be used against you if the laws fucking change. And the people who are labeling anti-American, communist, Marxist, Leninist, radical terrorist, radical leftist sympathizers, like, they will use that against you. And now they're trying to make it illegal to even fucking cover your face. It's ridiculous. Another $1 billion in federal health research contracts to Harvard could also be withheld. In federal health research. Health research! So this is... Dude, the Trump administration is just punishing the entirety of humanity because there were anti-Israeli protests? Because health research... Dude, if America does well in health research, then the rest of the world does. Innovation spreads, you know? You find out a new vaccine, it spreads. That's the way things work. This is insane. Holy shit. Could also be withheld. The Wall Street Journal reported over the weekend as the Internal Revenue Service is making plans to rescind the tax-exempt status of the university, and the administration has threatened Harvard's ability to enroll foreign students. Other universities, including Princeton, Cornell, and Northwestern University, also have seen federal funding paused and similar demands. So the attack on education was, before Trump was the president, it was verbal. Like, we knew that, the conservatives and the MAGA chuds, they don't like education. Education, more like indoctrination. These liberal colleges are turning people into Marxist-Leninists. And the whole reason why they do that is because, as we know, Republican voters are uneducated. This is not my opinion. This is statistics. Facts don't care about your feelings, snowflake. Don't get triggered. Stop typing. By and large, Republican voters are less educated than Democrat voters. And because of that, Republicans have been trained to believe that education in and of itself is a bad thing, which is a genius play by the Republican leadership to keep the people fucking stupid. You convince them that being smart is actually stupid. Genius play. It would only work on somebody extremely fucking dumb, but it worked. And there's about 77 million Americans who are extremely fucking dumb. That's just the way of the world. But the attack on education is here now. It's no longer verbal. It has arrived. We're seeing the Trump regime threaten federal funding for research and development for, like, cancer research because they won't get rid of DEI. That's the point that we are at now, where Donald Trump is holding the American people fucking hostage so that his own belief system can be enacted into private institutions. But it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you're here live, you stay. We're going to keep going. If you're watching this pre-recorded, thank you for tuning into the Valenti VOD. Make sure you check out that video right over there. I promise you it's a fucking banger. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.